and today we have a reading for you about somebody who has gone to a party and it does feel a little bit nefarious. So we could have somebody who was lying about where they were. We could have someone who was lying about who they were with. We could even have someone who has stopped responding. But I do feel like the big question here is what's going on or what happened at this party. So let's dive in. We'll call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're enjoying your day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box if I said it too fast, along with information on how to become a member if you want access to more content, as well as how to find the t-shirt I wore yesterday, or a homemade soy candle on my Etsy shop. That's all in the description box for you. All right. Or if you want to send a random tip on PayPal, that's down there too. Let's start off with the gold foil tarot and see what else is going on with this party. We have the beach and the mountains, and I mean, look, there are mountains on beaches and beaches near mountains, but it does kind of feel like we have somebody who went to a party and then went somewhere else. So it could be like what happened at the after party, or was there an after party? It does feel like there's a location change. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Judgment in the reverse. Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Sorry, Judgment is in the upright. I feel like this is information coming out after a loss. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out how serious this is. Ten of Wands and the Page of Swords. Is this someone talking about a cold case, for example? Yeah, okay. So this is something that happened a long time ago. This is not something that happened last Tuesday. This is something that happened years ago. And we have someone who's revisiting this subject matter to try to get additional information now that, investigation tools are more sophisticated. And we had a lot of people declining to talk about what really happened here. With that Nine of Wands, there is defensive energy and a desire to not say what really happened. I know what you did last summer. Queen of Wands in the reverse and the Lovers. So we have somebody who made a choice and they regret that choice. They made it in the heat of the moment. They might have been extremely jealous. They might have been extremely angry. But we have someone who's confessing or telling the truth. So perhaps we have a cold case and now we have someone who's feeling like they need to be honest about it because so much time has passed and they can't live with this anymore. Maybe we even have somebody who health-wise not doing so great and they feel like before they pass away, they need to be honest about what happened here. Hello, Mark. Hello, Third Eye. That's kind of creepy. Hey, Curtis. No. Hello, Kangaroo. How are you doing? I think we're getting some cold case justice here. I think somebody is finally saying, you know what? I'm going to tell you what I know. I didn't feel like I could be honest back then, but there's a love triangle and an argument that happened. So we have someone who's confessing what they saw or what they know. With the Hanged Man, this is a person who sees things differently than they did when they were younger. I do think this is like a crisis of conscience. Like they feel like they have to be honest about what they know in order to like be right with God. So this is the tarot of the cat people. Hi, Cam. That seems a little bit political to me, so I'm going to remove that. Hello, Bree. Hello, Stephen. Jesus loves you too. Hello, Ghost. Swifter, if you would like to come back and not do the fire and brimstone thing, you are welcome to. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups in the reverse. So either at this party or shortly before the party, there was a breakup. There was an argument and someone was very mad at their boyfriend or girlfriend. And then they were exes. So in this grief-stricken energy, we have someone who goes to a party. Two of Swords in the reverse. Their decision is to go a little bit wild. Have you ever had that energy before where you're like, okay, you know what? F it. I just want to make out. This is someone who was looking for a little bit of trouble to take their minds off, or their mind off of the breakup. So they went to a party that maybe they would not normally have considered going to, or maybe they would not have considered, you know, that's my people, where I want to go on a Friday or Saturday night. This is someone who wanted to distract themselves. So I'm thinking of the song Escapism by Ray. Hello, Blue Silhouette. How are you doing? So we have this Queen of Wands. This is the person who gets, you know, they get all dressed up for this party, trying to distract themselves from the breakup. Six of Swords. They might have been traveling a bit of a distance to get to this party. Maybe it's the next town over. Maybe, you know, they live in a rural place and they went to the big city. But this is a departure from their usual hangout spot, right? Oh, I hope that improves today. What else do we have? Four of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So because it might cause some trouble, our Queen of Wands doesn't tell many people where they go. Maybe it's just the person that's going with them. I do think that someone passed away. I mean, it's a cold case reading from what I can tell. So it does look like we have someone who, you know, they went out to party and things got out of hand. With the Sun in the reverse, I do feel like there is an effort that was made to, you know, hide the fact that this person was where they were. Like, I don't want people to think that I was involved, so I'm not going to let anybody know that this person who's missing was at my party. This is the Black Tarot. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Carrie. Welcome back. Hey, Ludacris. It's unfortunate that you can't understand how those things work together, but it makes sense for me. And that's all that matters because it's my beliefs, okay? So if you're not about it, then I would ask you to keep moving, but I'm not going to sit here and let you judge me for it, okay? Those are my beliefs. So we've got the Tower in the reverse. This is somebody who I think was going back to some kind of immature tendencies or behaviors. So we could have somebody who was sober and went back to drinking, or someone who had kind of like a settled down life, maybe even was married, but decided to go and kind of like let loose, right? They chose the wrong place to do this. It's like they wanted specifically a place that would irritate their ex if they found out that person was there. Well, the way that you phrase your question, Ludacris, is not very non-judgmental. I would consider how you phrase things. The way that you came across as, how can you be a follower? Like, it's difficult for me to even read that without having some sort of negative connotation with that. So that right there should tell you maybe it's a good idea to phrase things differently. Like you could start your conversation with, I'm curious, instead of, how can you, right? That's just me, maybe. Anybody else? I think when you're talking about people's beliefs, you got to be very cautious in terms of how you approach that subject, because that right there, that really does seem judgmental to me. Hello, Milagre. How are you doing? Good. That's awesome, Rachel. So we have the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Wands with the Ace of Spears or the Ace of Pentacles. This feels to me like we have somebody that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they encountered someone who was willing to, I don't know, buy their drinks or play pool with them or dance with them. And this sad person, frustrated from their breakup, they wanted to feel wanted. But the person that they ran into is someone that had a lot of drama going on or had a bad temper. Nine of Spears, oh, sorry, King of Spears, which is the King of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Ace of Cups. So it looks to me like we have someone who had just broken up and therefore was single, interacting with someone, and there is either a jealous, like the jealous ex shows up, or the person that they're flirting with at the bar is in a relationship. But we do have a jealous love triangle situation. And with that person showing up in kind of an unusual place for them, it might be more likely that the person who was jealous is tied to that place, not the person who had recently become single. Because the person, the Queen of Wands, who is going out after a breakup, they specifically chose a place where they felt like their ex would not find them or would not expect them to go. So we have the Four of Wands and the Knight of Spears or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Kind of feels to me like this is like we have someone who just broke up, right? The Queen of Wands. And then I think we have someone who is actually married. Yeah. There is a very angry energy here. King of Swords, Two of Spears or Two of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Cups in the reverse. We have someone who's possessive, someone who loses their temper pretty frequently, and it's this King of Swords. That does not mean that they have to be a man, and the Queen of Wands does not have to be a woman. But we do have some jealous energy because of the flirtation that happens with this Queen of Wands. This is the Gothic Tarot. What are you talking about, Brie? I don't know. So we've got the Nine of Cups, greed, the World in the reverse, and the Fool in the reverse. So I think we have a couple of jealous individuals in this reading. I think the Queen of Wands goes out to party, maybe goes to a bar and then goes to an after party, or, finds something close to the bar. And either at that party, there's a third person that is encountered and that person loses their temper, or the Queen of Wands goes home and faces the 5th degree over where they've been. But we have a very jealous partner or former partner who's angry because this Queen of Wands has flirted with someone. 10 of Wands. It is the Queen of Wands like whatever they get into at that party or at that bar, that is why we have someone who loses their temper, and the 10 of Wands has somebody literally in a coffin. So the anger takes over someone, but there's some sort of witness here. The person who is coming forward and confessing, I don't know that it's the person who actually committed the crime so much as someone who feels like they have to say what they know in order to help this case get solved. They can't keep it secret anymore. 6 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands in the reverse. I feel like there was a witness or somebody who knew what was going on or why someone was angry. I know that my friend got mad because their boyfriend or girlfriend was flirting at the bar, or I know this person, as soon as the relationship ended, they freaked out. But with the 2 of Wands in reverse, this is like no one really expected it to escalate so quickly. Hello, Johnny. How are you doing? Hello, Lynx. What's up? Because it was a little bit weird, third eye. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on board with that. Thank you. Rachel has shared the crisis support line. So if anyone needs that, that's in the live chat comments. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been assumptions made. There's been overreactive anger, obviously jealousy. But what I'm trying to figure out is this like the Queen of Wands ex or someone else? I feel like it's someone else. Yeah, I feel like the Queen of Wands ended up at a party where someone who's in a relationship was flirting with this Queen of Wands, and that's the problem, was that this person was in a relationship, and I don't think the Queen of Wands knew it. Seven of Swords in the reverse and the Two of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, it's like there was another relationship that was put at risk, or another um, connection had trouble that night, and it's because the Queen of Wands was newly single. Let's see what else we have. This is the energy oracle. Yeah, I mean, a big part of the issue here is Bree has been asked multiple times to clarify her comments to Rachel, just to try to understand, like, if it was being disrespectful. And she's, from what I can tell, granted, I've been reading, but from what I can tell, she doesn't clarify her comments to Rachel at all. And that's not a very good idea, because then things will get taken out of context. So we've got door to personal healing and happiness. This is somebody who feels like they have to be honest about what they saw at this party ages ago, because they know it will provide healing for someone, especially if we have someone who went missing and there were no answers, right, given to the family. This person feels guilty about the Queen of Wands family not having any answers. So we have the fourth chakra Archangel Raphael and the second chakra Archangel Ariel. Yeah, I do think this is about someone who passed away, a cold case problem here that has been unsolved. And now we have someone who's basically saying, I know something about this, and I feel like I need to give that information, or I need to, present that to somebody, because the family of the Queen of Wands deserves to know what happened. And there was an argument. There was a problem that night. I mean, we just kind of expect you to be a little bit weird, third eye, but I don't think you're ever, like, talking to yourself. I don't know. Maybe that is weird. This is the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. I don't think it's super random. I think Rachel was trying to make sure that this was not one of those, like, bots or somebody who just wants to pontificate. We have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Wands, with the Hanged Man in the reverse. It could be that whoever lost their temper, and, there's a cold case for a reason. It could be that this person has a tendency to lose their temper quite often, and there could be another problem. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this person could be looked at for a different crime. And then this friend of theirs or acquaintance that was at the party is like, did you know what happened back then? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this person lost their temper at a party, and we think that that person actually might not be around anymore. So I think this is about recent events, kind of rehashing what happened at this party, and making this healer realize that what they know about that night with the Queen of Wands might be pertinent information, even though it was a long time ago. King of Pentacles in the reverse. There is somebody who tried to make it look like it was a robbery or it was about money, but it wasn't. It was jealousy. It was somebody who was giving in to temptation when they were supposed to be in a relationship. They were supposed to be faithful to somebody else. Hello, Kay. How are you doing? Hello, Redbeard. How are you doing? Hello, Sayer. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. The Chariot in the reverse. And the Sun in the reverse. Yeah, there's information that was never given to the authorities. It just looks like they assumed it was a burglary gone wrong, but now they're getting additional information on what actually happened leading up to the disappearance. As I struggle over the word disappearance, this card comes out. Eight of Swords. So now we have information clearing up what really happened and pointing the finger at somebody who had, at least until this point, not really been a point of interest or a person of interest in this case. Now the angry individual is being looked at again. You know, there was some issue here. We need to understand what happened. This is the Ghost Tarot. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Sire. You deserve it. I hope that goes very well for you. What else do we have? Four of Swords in the reverse. Eight of Wands. Yeah, I think this is someone who feels like they need to be honest about what really happened because the family of the Queen of Wands didn't get any answers. And this is a witness, somebody who knows that there was an argument. I don't think this is the person who actually did anything, but I think they know who did. So they confess what they know because this has been a little bit heavy for them to hold on to this information, but I also think it's because this witness has children of their own. So they feel a sense of responsibility. Three of Wands in the reverse. Page of Swords in the reverse. So this is literally going to, whomever's in charge of the cold case and saying, you got the motive wrong. I know why this person was actually in danger that night. It didn't have to do with the money. It was because of flirting. And somebody who got jealous. Somebody who lost their temper. And they give additional information to enable this detective to solve the case. Yep. The Hermit. Okay, well, now that I have that lead, now that I have that information, I'm not going to be distracted by the wrong path. I can actually figure out what happened here. Hello, Grant. I hope you're having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Justice. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Have you spoken to your girlfriend about that? We've got the Emperor in the reverse and Judgment. Yeah, I do think that we've had someone not able to rest because what happened to them was not figured out. And this person whoever hurt the Queen of Wands, I think they're going to be found out. They're going to be caught. Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. No longer able to keep this secret. Now they're pulled in for questioning. As they should be. All right, so this is the Kipper. Yes, I agree. Redbeard, Master of Chaos, says flirt with a friend, see what she does. I mean, you can at least see if there's a double standard, right? You probably already know, Justice, but yeah, I would say it's not normal behavior, or it shouldn't be. You should feel respected by your partner. Same, Grant. All right, what else do we have? Yeah, I feel like they made it look like it was a burglary. Like, oh, they had some money on them, and that's why hit the fan. Just a couple of people who were looking for some money, that's all. Nope, wrong. That was not the motive. We had somebody who was in a relationship who got caught up flirting with the Queen of Wands. So this might lead to somebody's arrest, but I feel like it's years and years after the crime. All because we have somebody who feels guilty, who can't like sleep at night, and they're like, I gotta say something. I gotta be honest with these people. Maybe it's on Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know. But this is someone who can't sit still until they tell the truth about what really happened. Because they feel that if they don't tell the truth about the real motive, that the person who did it will never get brought to justice. It might be because it was a woman and people don't expect it to have been a woman. But we do have someone who gained some money from the situation, and I feel like this would be somebody who already had money. So it's like if you're looking at it as they, things got violent because of money, then you probably wouldn't suspect somebody who has tons of money, right? Hello, guess who? How are you doing? It was the best. Did they made it more, right? Like another season or something, but I don't think they still are, correct? So this lead is a gift to the investigation because they're finally able to get somewhere and figure out that they had been following the wrong motive. This is the Path of Shadows. You're funny, Redbeard. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. So we've got Gorgon. The monster they feared, now I've become, still seeking for revenge for my cold heart of stone. I think we have someone who lost their temper and did the unthinkable. And now we have someone who's coming forward with the truth. Maybe they didn't actually see what happened, but they know who was angry. Or maybe they saw the aftermath. Intention, alchemy, manifestation, cauldron. Might have even predicted that this person needed to get a grasp on their anger or something bad would happen. We have the Mummy. Between the ancient past and the modern world, is there any place where I belong? I do feel like this was several years ago, and now things might be getting a little bit clearer because of the type of testing they're capable of doing. Hello, Ash. How are you doing? Yes. Well, I hope you find somebody who's more reliable. Hello, Dira. How are you doing? Are you okay, guess who? Do you mean like spiritually? Like attack you? Hello, Lynx. This is about a cold case. So yes, I do think somebody passed away. Wisdom, experience, and hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge. This person had information that is instrumental in solving the case, and now they've decided to bring it forward and actually communicate that to the person who's investigating. Okay. It's like a little bit wild, but okay. Hello, Myra. How are you doing? Jubilee, that would be like Evil Eye, right? We have soulmate, friendship, romantic partner, and highest high adrenaline rush. So it's because of someone who is in a partnership losing their temper, feeling like their person was crossing a line. Ooh, hold on. Was it? Was it Dips? You gotta remind me, story time, what I'm supposed to call you. I'm forgetting now, but I'm pretty confident it starts with a D. Um, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with rage right now. Let's make sure if justice/karma is coming. But let me know because I feel like I let you down. Oh, I'm sorry you're dealing with that, Ash. I certainly hope so. I'm sending you healing energy. um, story time, are you saying that I was right about your name? I'm literally just writing the letter D because I'm nervous. Let me pull just a few more on this general reading, and then I will dive into your question, okay? Okay, I said dip, right? Dips? I get real nervous. I don't like saying people's names wrong. What else do we have? Searching, Ascension, and Verge. Yeah, this is somebody who has kept a secret for a very long time, but because they have been working on themselves, because their life is improving, they have started to feel an immense amount of guilt for keeping this information to themselves instead of aiding the investigation on what happened to this Queen of Wands. Again, the Queen of Wands does not have to be a woman, but this is someone who would have gone through a breakup the night of, or very, very close to. We have receipts. There was definitely money on this Queen of Wands, or there was, you know, money perhaps spent. Maybe it was even like a theft of a car. But now this tip is helping the investigator realize that that was not the main motivation. That money was just like a side thing, right? It's not the main reason why there was a crime that night. So now that they're tracing it back to this party, they're able to get some information that verifies there was some flirtation going on. And I think they're able to be, like, they're pointed in the right direction, right? So does this mean they're going to solve the case? Because we did see the imprisonment card, so I do feel either someone's being let out because they're innocent and they were accused, or the right person is going to jail. Page of Swords in the reverse. Five of Swords. I do feel like someone else was accused. I don't know if like they actually went to jail. It kind of looks like that. I think the wrong person was put in jail. But their name is being cleared, and the person who's actually responsible is being found. So this tower is like one person leaves jail and one person goes and takes their place. The person who is really responsible, who could be a female, because we had that privileged lady card come out and mature woman. But this could be someone who had good connections or had some people with money trying to protect them. But now circumstances are different. That protective layer is no longer there, and somebody is specifically citing the flirtation that happened that night as the reason for the accident, or the I don't know what words YouTube gets weird about, but the cold case, the reason for this, it was previously assumed to be money, and it's not. Hello, Skull. How are you doing? Oh, Redbeard, let's not be too pessimistic now, shall we? Okay. So I'm still paranoid that I'm gonna say your name wrong, but let's see what we got for tips. What do we want? I think we're gonna use the stained glass tarot. Is there justice / karma coming? Per Storytime's question. Is there justice / karma coming? Not yet. We have Death in the reverse, Nine of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands in the reverse. Someone needs to be unseated first. So kicked out, demoted, canceled. There's someone here who's like managing to hold things together, but it's like, what was dude's name? I can't think of his name. Was it Hodor? The guy who was holding the door? That would be kind of great if that was his name. You guys, what was his name? The guy where they were like, hold the door. There's someone here who's really trying to like keep it together, but it's not going to last. So will there be justice? Probably. But this person is trying to prevent it with every ounce of power that they have. Eight of Wands in the reverse, Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. There's definitely some manipulation or spell work at hand or afoot. But they can't stop what's going to happen. They can only delay it. The issue is they've delayed it multiple times. But we have the Chariot. That's law enforcement. That's justice. I feel like by delaying justice / karma, they've only made things worse for themselves. So what might have been, you know, like a 2-year sentence before is now going to be like a 20-year sentence. They've only made it worse for themselves. They thought that they were delaying or avoiding the inevitable, but they were only making the inevitable more awful for themselves. Knight of Swords, King of Cups in the reverse. Justice shows up when a holdout gives up. Like, loyal to the very end. And then something makes this King of Cups in the reverse switch it up. Like, I don't want to be loyal anymore. I tried, but I don't like you. This person either gets bought out or they give up. They're like, I don't want to keep doing this. This is so much work to try to like protect somebody else. They end up giving up. But we have a lot of energy that is self-absorbed, or I only care about myself, and inevitably those connections curl up and, you know, go away because you have people who are just thinking about what they want or what they need. So with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, we have someone who decides, okay, that's it. I can't do this anymore. Whoa, 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 whoa. Guess who? What are we doing there? It might be helpful if we use like complete sentences so that things don't get misinterpreted. But when you put a comment out there like that, guess who? I get offended because that's not what we do. But this is somebody who is getting justice. It's delayed. We have the Empress. I do feel like there's a woman who is at the center of the unraveling of this problem. So, yeah, sometimes it takes a little extra long for justice to show up. We would have liked them to be there a little bit earlier on, you know? I mean, I was trying to figure out what you were trying to say about it, but I don't want them protected, do you? I just, yeah. If you're gonna make a statement like that, it sounds more like you're in support of it. So that's kind of lame, right? Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes, and I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.